Alright, guys, so I just wanted to shout out Brian Ahmad today. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but he had put a comment in my community tab post and talking about the Orlando Magic. Well, I don't know enough about young prospects in this upcoming draft, aside from Victor Wembanyama supposedly being that dude. I don't know a whole lot, so I can try that next time around. But today, guys, we are going to talk about the Orlando Magic, who currently are obviously one of the more bad teams in the league, as they're obviously rebuilding and trying to build around Paolo and Franz Wagner, along with some of their other young picks. Currently, Orlando is sitting at 25th in offense and 21st in defense. And guys, they're actually a fun team to watch, but at times they also really remind you that they are a young team. But there are three players in particular that I really took attention to when breaking down film for this video. The first is obviously Paolo, who is playing like an incredible player who honestly doesn't even look like a rookie. He looks like he's been in this league for the past 2 to 3 years. Currently, what I thought was most impressive, according to B-Ball Index, Paolo's drive foul rate. So meaning how many times when Paolo Banchero is driving to the hoop does he get the foul? It's at 16%. That means almost a fifth of the times that man drives to the basket, he gets a call, which is incredible because that's in the 92nd percentile in the entire league. And the other thing that I thought was super impressive was Franz Wagner is currently shooting 41% on catch and shoot threes and 44% on quarter threes. And finally, Markelle Fultz. Yes, that is right. A former top lottery pick for the Philadelphia 76ers is playing really good basketball right now, and I think it's underrated, in part due to him being injured and just not having a lot of attention. But Markelle Fultz currently has a pass out of the drive rate, which what that means is that basically anytime Markelle Fultz is driving, how often does he then use that as a playmaking opportunity? And currently that sits at 46%. Again, all these stats are due to B-Ball Index. So guys, you know what it is. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let's have a great holiday season, and let's enjoy this little breakdown of the Orlando Magic and their future. So on this first clip here, what we're going to see from Paolo is off this screen right here from Wagner. As you see almost this little trail off, and he just has this beautiful drive, right, coming up here. And you could have argued he could have passed it to Bull, but the finish he gets here on Barnes is just a tough shot and showing just how good of a finisher he really is in this league. Again, Paolo's ability in the mid-range is something I really value too. Look at what he does to Robert Williams, making him stutter to the point of where he has the space and distance with time to get another easy mid-range bucket. And finally, again, the reason I'm looking at Boston's defense too is they're just such a good team defense. So to see Paolo do things like this against poor Derek White really makes you know just how good of a talent he is, getting this beautiful mid-range finish. Now, what I find so great about Paolo's game is in part due to his decision making. Being able to recognize what exactly is going on in the court and where exactly his best moment is to strike, and seeing just how much of this comes from him knowing how to use his body's momentum to then just stop, shift, and pull up the jumper, as you guys are seeing in some of these clips right here. So being able to also take advantage of size, to see a player who isn't afraid to just be like, nope, I'm bigger than you, I'm going to put my head down and show you, and just drives to the lane, is pretty incredible to watch. And I think Paolo's three-point shot, while currently is struggling at the moment, I think that's something that, honestly, he's a young player. Just give him a little bit of time and he can get better. Now, if this is year 2 or 3 and he's still struggling to shoot from 3 like he is, okay, Paolo, maybe it's time to stop shooting. But for right now, this is one of those things I think will come with time. But his finishing and his mid-range game is what I really love, and I hope to continue to build around it. As we can see here, look at this upcoming play. Just this little step right here on Zubac, an incredibly good rim defender for an easy lane. And now let's look at my personal favorite player on the Magic, Franz Wagner. As you're going to see here, Franz gets a beautiful spin move for separation. And while I would argue that he could have had the easier pass out here to Markelle Fultz in the corner, he tries for the shot, and while it gets deflected, it's one of those looks that I really like to see, because look at it again here. He gets the spin move again on this Atlanta defense to go for an easy lay-in, even with Clint Capella right there. And the last thing I want to show you in terms of the 3 major highlights is look at the Wendell Carter Jr. screen, and Franz immediately goes for the alley-oop, seeing that he beat his man to the rim for a beautiful alley-oop dunk with Wendell Carter. And that's what I love about Franz Wagner. He's showing that he's a capable scorer, and honestly, I think he's a solid playmaker. And I think he'll get a little bit better with time, as he's, I believe, 3rd or 4th on the Magic in terms of assists per game. But in terms of when we're seeing from Franz, he's looking like right now arguably a top 2 or 3 player from that draft class. And I really hope that we can see just a little bit more from him scoring wise. And Orlando needs him to be their second to third option, obviously depending on where they end up in the Victor sweepstakes, or if they get someone like Scoot Henderson. But I really believe that if the Magic are able to have Franz as their second to third option, this team can go so far. And what else we're going to look at now is Markelle Fultz. Look at the playmaking here from Fultz. Through his drive, just like we were talking about with the drive pass out rate, look at that corner shot that he was able to create for Banchero, through defenses attracting to him on the drive. Now this right here to me is one of the most beautiful plays of the year so far. He gets the beautiful behind the back pass to Mo Wagner for a easy finish at the rim. Markelle Fultz is really good too at transition offense. As we're going to see here, just this little shot, while he misses, what you're going to wait for here is you're going to see Mo Wagner cutting, going inwards towards it, and almost, again, no-look pass for an easy finish at the rim. So when we're looking at everything here, guys, what I'm loving about this team is that they really do play like a team. And if I was the Orlando Magic, here's how I would kind of focus on a rebuild. First, we obviously need to know where we're going to end up. So if we end up with a top 5 to 6 pick, we can get someone like a Scoot Henderson, the Thompson twins, Victor, any of those guys. That's awesome. Take the best available player, please. Do not worry about the position. And to me, I think the thing that they should focus on is figuring out which guards they're going to commit to. Could you have Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, and Jalen Suggs, all of whom you could argue deserve a spot on this team? And as much as I've talked about this little playmaking boost from Markelle Fultz, I think ultimately, unfortunately, he will probably be the guard they move on from. I say that because you have Jalen Suggs, who's a lottery pick, and you're not going to be moving on from him. And honestly, I love Cole Anthony as like a future 6-man for this team because of his scoring boost that he can give you. So ultimately, I think while Markelle Fultz can bring his value up, maybe he's the guy that you look towards trading. And then finally, here's the other thing, guys. Bol is a hooper. Bol, I am just so happy to see that he's finally found his place in the league. And honestly, if you can keep building around him, obviously excluding you possibly getting Victor, why not see what you can do with him? I think if you have a Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero duo, or even trio, considering who you get in the draft, this team can go somewhere in the next 3 to 4 years. Obviously, this is all depending on injuries and such, but if they stay healthy, I think this could be a legit playoff fighting team within the next 2 to 3 years. I really think that the Magic's rebuild is good, but I think what they just need to figure out is which guys they're going to commit to and which guys are okay with leaving behind or trading to try and get more capital, or older veteran pieces to try and help transition this team from having almost this losing or fighting culture to let's get winning and let's go for the chip. As always, guys, this was Amster Knows Hoops. Thank you all so much for your support. Let's get to 200 subs. Have an incredible Christmas holiday or whatever you celebrate. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.